What is going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here with another video for you guys here before the reset here, and hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday so far, and may the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic start to the week thus far. Now, as you might have already seen in the title here, we are going to be quickly going over my account here, and of course we've logged in for 3,060 days. Divide that by 365 and it's like 8.3-ish. So I basically had a couple of months head start over the official launch people, right? We were able to get a soft launch on the game when it was in fact released, and yeah, of course, I was in Canada, so we had an early release date. I think there was Australia as well. But yeah, as you guys can kind of see here, once you collect that juicy 300 cores and the 15 orbs, the next milestone will be another, looks like 180 days later, so another half year. So I'll give you guys another account update maybe in half a year later, depending on where the game is and if whatever happens down then. But that's as far as you guys need to know. Now let's quickly chat about the account. I'm gonna go over my account here so you guys can kind of see the squads I have, and of course as well on the top right screen you can see my my gold and my power cores, and I've hit the 1 billion mark. So screw you, Rage. You're not the only one with 1 billion gold anymore. And also on the fact that we will probably most likely have to use some for the upcoming events this week, so that's not going to matter too much, but just want to kind of let you guys know regarding the amount of gold there. Now let's take a look at the roster here. This is the reason why I have so much gold is because of the fact that we do have lots of teams that we skipped. People are always asking me, hey Az, how do you have so much gold? How can you hoard so much? And it's the easy simple question is the fact that excuse me, still fighting a little bit of a cough here, so apologies there. Now in Vance, we have not built up a lot of squads, right? So let's quickly go back to the start of the year here, where they had the introduction of basically the Winter Guard and the New Mutants, right? We completely skipped New Mutants, and as you can see here, really the only characters that I've built up for the New Mutants is characters that I would have used previously for maybe some other stuff, right? I think I had Magic up there just because she had that really BA skin. She had that really cool skin with the dark horns and everything, and that was just really cool. So I think that's why she was level 70. And of course as well we have Sunspot up there for due to raids. But then if you guys go into Winter Guard, I was excited for the team, and of course as well my Omega Red was already level 105 because we had used them in some of the Dark Dimensions, and we punched a little bit up on the Red Guardian as well here because he was one of my favorites. But again, as you can see, we didn't really level up the other three because we never really needed to. There wasn't any content. And now if you guys have seen some of my other footage, we are slowly going through the Redacted Dimension, and thanks to the free Deadpool that we got, that was G20, that was great because I didn't want to put any resources into him. I think he was only level 90 or 85 or something, so it was great. We got the training materials for that to bump him up, and of course as well the other ones are sort of kinda a little bit built up due to previous metas. I think we needed the Young Avengers for a Scourge in the past, and then I think like I said, we never really built it up, but now I'm starting to see that they are coming more and more up on the war defense, and they are smoking me. So may have to pivot here, but again, just teams that I haven't built up, and if you guys do have them built up, great. You're going to be solid here for the upcoming Battle World, and of course as well, Retcon is a solid team for using some of the Chaos nodes, as well as the fact that they are a very good war defense team. I think, in my opinion, I think they're the best team right now on defense. Now, of course, later on in the year, we had that big Magneto fiasco, so of course as well, he was one of my personal favorites. We already had Phoenix and Omega Red leveled up to 105, so there was no surprises there, and of course I pushed Magneto all the way because, like I said, he was one of my all-time favorites, and I even used quite a bit of power cores to get him up to that 5 red unlock so we could do the Polarity Tower and get his 7 red. Now, fast forward that, we had the champions released, and we built a little bit of them up due to the fact that Eclipse needed them to get unlocked, and as you guys can see, we didn't have to bring them up too much. We brought up Brawn and Miss Marvel, and of course Miles just a little bit up, and then we pushed them to tier 19 as per requirements, and then that was it. I never worked on Nova, and I never worked on Moon Girl, and I haven't since. And then now, of course, this week we will see how the Surfer Breaker event unfolds. With that in mind, we'll see if we need to put some resources into them I'm still trying to weigh out the pros and the cons, but very likely I'm most likely bringing them up because I'm a competitive guy on the leaderboards, and I want to see if this team, right, this team that's been already buffed twice, if these guys will compete here. And I want to just let you guys know now, if you are trying to push hard on the leaderboards and you're going to be competitive, keep in mind, right, Storm is going to be another this Mighty Storm. She's going to be a 5th member of the Daring Warriors team, right? So just keep in mind, if you are bringing some of these guys up, I definitely for sure think it's either going to be Daredevil or JJ that's going to be the odd person out. And I feel like right now it's going to be JJ just because Daredevil packs a punch. Like, he does so much damage. And that's just my 2 cents. But again, yeah, you're going to be able to, see it live. And I'm sure some other great content creators are going to be able to do some testings for us. So stay tuned for that. Shadow Conclave, don't be an idiot like me. Make sure you guys are collecting the 10 Twitch. We got Executioner Shards, but last week we missed High Evolutionary. I had done the Twitch and I forgot to collect it, and I was dumb. So make sure you guys collect it. Okay, so now the last and final team here is this Exalted X-Men, and of course, I'm looking forward to hopefully when they bring out the Symbiote team as well, because it's already on the splash art, it's already on the screen, they've already hinted at it, so I don't know why they didn't just tell us about it, but we'll most likely get some indication of it perhaps this week or the next week, maybe even in the data mines, so we know who to bring up for the upcoming Surfer Breaker event. But that is kind of that in a nutshell here. And again, I'll go into my roster so you guys can kind of see here exactly what the levels are. So I'm not going to go through every single character here, but I just want to make an important mention here and an important note on the fact that I only have 2 characters that are level 110, and that is Professor Xavier for obvious reasons, and of course my boy Blue Marvel, who is reliant on his stats. So those are the 2 guys that are 110, and everybody else is level 105. I do this for 2 reasons. Reason 1 is when I do the troubleshooting and the gameplay and stuff, it's very, very easy, I think, for people to kind of, just plug your characters into 110 and smash through it, and the 110 stats are absolutely insane. I've seen it on the other content creators. I've seen some of the other big wigs, and they use those kind of stats, and it's absolutely, it's not realistic, right? Having said that as well, it's a huge, huge sink in resources, right? Even if I brought No up to level 110, it's 13 mil just from level 105, and of course 1,299 of these training materials. Now, you do the math there, and I bring up like even 10 characters, that's already 130 mil. So, the reason why a lot of people are having this huge, massive gold crunch right now is because they've been bringing lots of different characters up to levels that they don't really need it. Right now, 105 is still doable. We've been able to do all the content we've been able to see so far. Thunderstrike sagas, Nihilus saga, Thunderstrike raids, and whatever else might be coming. Right, the Scourges, the Breakers. Yes, the level 110 will help, but isn't it a better idea to hold on to that gold and see if you can do it first? And of course, as well, Noah's a bad example here because he's 5 diamonds, so he probably doesn't need the levels. But having said that, if you're on a resource crunch, a training material crunch, 105 seems to kind of be that hot spot right now. So make sure you guys are not doing that. The other point I wanted to talk to you guys about here with regards to the roster is the fact that a lot of people are also bringing them up to 110, and then they're also bringing up these unique pieces so that they can get all these extra bonuses, which isn't a bad move. I mean, if you're a very competitive guy, either in arena, whether it's in war, and you want those extra stats, it's going to definitely help out. But again, because of the fact that Gear Tier 21 shares the same materials as Gear Tier 19, having all these guys pumped up to those missing pieces right now isn't going to help you necessarily if you're trying to bump other characters up, maybe level 19, tier 19 characters up to 20. It's going to slow your progress down. So again, yes, we can possibly do it, but do we need to? And that's the question, right? And of course as well, we keep in mind, right, there's also a whole bunch of other material pieces that you don't want to be spending on. I need to find a character that I haven't T4'd because a lot of these ones I've already T4'd, but I'll just show you guys here. We're supposed to be getting the revamp of the economy today. And of course as well with that they're going to be moving T4s over, and I am I brought everybody up here. I need to go down to the bottom maybe to some weaker characters. Let's see here. Did I bring everything up on Carnage? Yes, I did. Okay, let's do Gwen here. So again, these T4s also very important, but also keep in mind I've been playing this for over 8 years, so I've accumulated quite a bit of T4s, and actually this is a really small supply. If you look at Rage Gaming, He's got over 40,000 of this. So I'm actually this is actually pretty bad because of the fact that I do T4 a lot of characters up. He's always like, dude, you don't need to T4 all of them, and I'm like, well, I like T4ing my characters. They make them look stronger. So this was back when I was kind of more in the phase where I want to kind of remove that red dot because it was annoying the heck out of me. But yeah, as you can see here, lots of my characters are T4'd, even the really stupid ones, right? Oh, actually, I thought I had Quake. Gwenpool? Okay, yeah, so lots of ones, but save the T4s. We'll see what happens here with the revamp on the Cosmic Crucible and see if that helps out with some of the resources. And on that note as well, there's also this arena side of things, right? Arena's going to get revamped, and we're going to get the power cores shifting into events, and we're going to get training materials shifting into the rewards here for the arena. And I'll just quickly show you guys as well here. I do want to talk to you guys about how much I spend as well, because I have gotten a lot of questions about it. And if you guys weren't able to catch the live session with me and Rage last week, then it's kind of a rebuttal of it. But other than that, let me just quickly go into my roster here so you guys can see the power level. So again, you'll see my total collection power is about 245 mil, which I don't know, is that big or is that small for how long I've been playing the game? I feel like it's probably on the more smaller side, just because I've been playing with a lot of guys on my alliance for that same amount of time, and they're pretty big guys, right? And actually, you know what, let's go into the arena here. I think the arena is always a great way to look at those because you know, I've played against some very, very competitive guys, and of course as well, some of these guys, I know they're spenders, right? Much more spending than I've ever done, so that's why I want to talk about the spending that I do. But before I get into the how much I spend, let's quickly look at some of the characters. Like I said, so 245, right? 245, keep that in the back of your pocket there, 245, and we'll take a random stab here at some of these guys here, because a lot of these guys that are in my shard have been playing the game just as long as I have. If not, actually, maybe some of these guys have been playing even longer, because I actually missed a few weeks as well here, just when I took a little hiatus from the game. And I did, even though I have that much login days, I did miss a few days as well, maybe a few weeks actually, just with all the family stuff that was going on in life. But let's look at Carnage here. Carnage is one of the ones I've been playing up against for a long time. Shout out to you, brother. 369. So he pretty much laps me by about 100k, and of course as well, he's got Blue Marvel, which is you know, congratulations. And then yeah, let's take a look at, I don't know, there's another one, Atheon Knight. This is another great one. He is definitely for sure probably on the top end at least in our arena. And again, I think he's got a Blue Marvel unlock as well. Most of our guys, I think there's like top 30, top 40, everyone's got Blue Marvel. It's just whether they use it or not for defense, because sometimes the defense shifts, right? Let's keep going down here. Swarly's another one, 347. So again, lapping me by 100-ish. So great job, brother. Great job. Another one. Oh, let's do Ivix. Ivix is another Allspark. Shout out to you, brother. Loki Charms, good alliance. 358. So again, lapping me by 100-ish. So I think you guys get the gist of it. And let's go to some of the content creators. So our boy Mobile. We know he spends a bit, and yeah, he hasn't been active, so he's probably just had a very nice family, nice oriented weekend, just relaxing, chilling off before the big storm today and this week, I guess. And yeah, 422, and I think there was a video actually with him and ZKG as well. If you guys haven't had a chance to go check it out, I think he does talk about the spending and how much he does spend. So that's just a reference for you guys in terms of, you know, my power level again. And I'll do a couple more here so you guys can kind of see the relevance. But I mean, Kovac is another one. He was actually one of the early ones with the Blue Marvel unlock, so congrats, brother. And again, 385. So again, lapping me by about 100-ish. And I saw Dossier here underneath. Let's do Dossier as well. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I think it's Dossier. But I always say things weird, so I'll just call you D-Man. So D-Man here, 423, similar to Mobile, and I think he was one of the early ones for Blue Marvel unlock as well here. So congrats, brother. And again, let's quickly go and find. There is one more. I always like to do all the content creators because I don't want to miss somebody out here, because we got lots of great people that make the great content, and I love Valley. I follow all these guys, right? There's always something to learn, and whether it's positive or negative, these are great guys for the community. So Valley Flying, again, he's probably more my speed. I don't believe he has Blue Marvel unlocked yet, but you know, he's also busy with his own family, and of course as well, he's got his own priorities. So 308, still again higher than my power level. So hopefully that gives you guys an understanding here. And let's quickly jump into my alliance so you guys can kind of see as well. I want to give a couple shout outs as well here. So Sir Odin, he used to be part of Duarctic. If you guys watch Duarctic content creators, Duarctic, MSF, I think he's coming back as well here. But anyways, Sir Odin, my boy, top of the scale here. Half, Ryan, my boy. He has been with us since kind of the beginning. So, again, shout out to you, brother, for sticking it out with me. And, again, lots of other guys. Pirate King, congrats to you, brother. He is a new dad as well. He's still, he's enjoying life and being an awesome dad. GOAT, greatest of all time. Great guy to play with as well. And I think, as you guys can kind of see here, I'm 245, right? So I think I'm actually less than half with our alliances, which is kind of depressing because I should be fairly good since I am the leader. But yeah, anyways, and you guys know Rage is on here too. He, as you guys know, he's very thrifty. Kind of keeps all the resources to himself here. But yeah, 189, which is still respectful. He's almost 200, so not bad. So again here, so those are my alliance mates. And now let's quickly jump into the spending side of things. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen here, switching windows. So now, we did sort of kind of talk about this during the live session last week, and yeah, so I use a Rogers MasterCard. That's a Canadian MasterCard, in case you guys don't know what that is. And yeah, I watch a lot of hockey. I have a Rogers bill, so it kind of gives us like cash back redemption, all that other stuff on there. So again, as you guys can kind of see here, yeah, those are my purchases. And yeah, and I've kind of I have to dot out some of the private stuff, but as you guys can kind of see here, there is the MSF Exola. That's kind of what it looks like when you buy it on the web store. I'm not 100% sure what it looks like when you do in-game purchases, but I always try to do it on the web store because there's always more benefit out of the web store there. So just so you guys are aware. And just going to remove that so it's easier to look at. So now, as you guys can kind of see here, this was kind of during my Blue Marvel run. So usually in the past I've avoided buying the battle passes and all that other garbage because it wasn't great. And of course, I've only kind of strictly stuck with spending during key races and key events because there was always something to chase, right? The red stars. And of course, we knew at the time that Blue Marvel needed the red stars to function. So as you guys can kind of see here at the top of the list, this is kind of when Blue Marvel went live. We have some purchases there for October, the October-ish, kind of the end of October, and you'll see there that I do have some redemption. So basically with the MasterCard that I have, you're able to kind of make purchases, and then the cashback basically just neutralizes it. And if you guys scroll back to my earlier section of the video, you'll see I had about like $290 or something. So I've got a lot of money saved up right now because we haven't done any spending, but that's kind of like my bank. That's my bank that I can use without having to worry about actually using my actual cash because the missus wants me to make sure I'm actually using my money for the kids. Love you, babe. And also on the fact that it makes me feel better, right? It makes me feel better that the cash back is, yeah, like at the end of the day, yes, it's still like money in some shape or form, but it neutralizes a lot of those purchases for me, and it actually keeps me fairly responsible and fairly, even keel as well. So as you guys see here, then kind of near the end of the month, October 31st, November 3rd, that's kind of when I used those redemption bonuses. And again, we bought a few Blue Marvel packets of where they had the offers, and I think it was like a free character per whatever, and that's kind of what gave me the little edge there that I needed so that I could push for, I think it was I had a 5 red unlock on him, and I think that's as much as I want to talk about. So that is the spending side of things. I'm going to switch over to the next info here, so then you guys can kind of see how much I spent on Odin, Professor Xavier, and of course Blue Marvel, just so you guys are aware. Okay, so yeah, it was nice. Back in the old days, it took us 8 months to get Odin, and it took us about 6 months to get Professor X, and of course now, most recently, it took us about 5 months to get Blue Marvel. And of course, as you guys can kind of see here, I had to go through the credit card bill, and I was actually surprised. I thought for some reason I spent more on Xavier. I'm not actually surprised. I only spent $50, but anyways, so Odin was nice because he was pretty much virtually free to play, and we didn't have to do any inputs or anything like that. I think we got the 5 red on him, or 4 red, whatever it was, back then. And then, of course, yeah, we just kind of took our time with it because I was kind of working through Mephisto, and I was working through Odin kind of at the same time. And then, of course, as well, they gave us quite a bit of those purple ions, right? They were actually letting us, have ways to find it meaningfully, farm it meaningfully, because yeah, you did need the purple ions for raids eventually, but that was nice. And then with Professor X, same thing last year. It was nice because we had the X coins initially, and then of course as well with the new fractal or seasonal store, whatever you want to call it, then that gave people a lot of access and a lot of ways to farm Professor X free to play. And that's kind of what, it took a little bit less time because we did spend like I forget what it was. I spent $50 and I think it was 2 combination offers when I was going through my my credit card statement, and it was I think I must have bought it during when they just announced the gear tier, and I think I just threw a couple of offers in there because it was a good offer, and it was like kind of during the race. And of course I soon realized just how many materials I needed, and I was like, oh gosh, 25, $50, that's not gonna do crap. So then I just kind of stuck my game, right? Doing the raids, getting the credits, getting the fractals, farming raids up, trying to prioritize and focus your materials on the on the season store. And then I was just basically aiming for the minimum unlock, pushing up like LDS, zombie jugs, because they were cheap, right? They were cheap characters, and you just wanted to get some red stars on them. And yeah, and I figured it out, the math. Like, I think I got to the global hero section, and it didn't matter even if you could do global hero section, because yeah, then you still needed like cosmic for the cosmic section, and it was like 10 more characters, and I was like, oh yeah, there is no way in hell, if I even spend like another $100, there's no way in hell I'm even getting a next star for it. So I just sucked it up, and then eventually they brought the X Heist back and the red stars, right? And of course, most recently with Blue Marvel, as you guys just saw my statement, we did spend a little bit, and then we realized how crappy Blue Marvel was kind of during the race, and then I was like, okay, I'm not spending any more money on him, even though it wasn't like I said, I wasn't using my actual cash, but the redemption points would have been nice to use it on other stuff, right? That's actually the cash that I like to use when we go out and eat and stuff, and sometimes it's just nice to have a free meal or something, right? But other than that, guys, that is kind of my spending in a nutshell here. This doesn't include the battle passes and all the other stuff that I bought way back. When I was starting out, I did spend a bit, and it was like buying those little power core offers on the special anniversary dates, and of course as well buying battle passes and strike passes that were reasonably well priced and they were Black Friday deals. But those were with different credit cards, and I don't have access to those credit cards anymore because I changed credit cards. So can't really tell you how much there, but I did spend a little bit, and like I said, I think it was probably, I spent $25-$50 maybe every few months, and that was kind of reasonable. So I've dialed back on my spending quite a bit now, especially with how the game has been. But yeah, anyways, let's jump back in game here so you guys can see my count. Okay, so that's kind of how much I spent, and now with the current chase for Annihilus, we know that we'll be able to farm hopefully his G21s. There is going to be an upcoming leaderboard event as well, so I'm definitely going to partake in that and see what we can do here in terms of getting him shards. If you guys already didn't know, I already have a little spreadsheet where I'm kind of keeping track of all the inputs, and if I do spend any money on Annihilus, I'll let you guys know, but I'm kind of keeping it kind of within that same ballpark. If I have to spend like 50 to $100, great, let's keep it within that window. Again, I know I have like 200 and I don't forget how much it was, $290 or whatever I can use, but yeah, we need to see some content in the game, and I've kind of been on this boycott since the start of the year where I'm kind of not really spending anymore, at least until we see some improvements. There's lots that need to be done here, and the Age of Fear is starting today, so let's see what happens here. Let's see if they can, give us a good amount of whatever, and see if they can change things up here. Also, with regards to the leaderboard event, if you guys are planning to partake in it as well, what I highly recommend is including this Malekith Surge and the Save the Worlds. Just save your energy. There's going to be energy inputs, and I think they probably capped it now so that it prevents people from hoarding massive amounts of energy. But that doesn't stop me here because I'm still going to probably most likely use a good chunk of it, and then I'm going to hoard it for the next leaderboard event. But keep in mind, guys, keep in mind, like I said, lots going on this week. Stay tuned, all that good stuff. Hopefully it gives you guys an idea of my account roster. If you guys have any questions about it, and if you guys are curious about what I'm going to be building, what I'm going to be doing here, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, always appreciate you guys taking the time to stop by, and of course as well listening to me jarble on and on and on. And sometimes listening to a guy talk for 20 minutes isn't exactly fun. So always appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. Other than that, guys, tune in for the next time, and we'll see you guys then.